This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Cams. We're located at 1904 South Robertson, Los Angeles, California. And we're performing a video sewer inspection through a 4-inch ABS cleanout located on the left-hand side of the apartment building in the driveway, and it's the second parking stall from the front of the street and from the front of the building. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and drop down from here and take a good look at the line. We are zeroed out here. We're just going to drop down. As we drop down, you can see that they're holding the water. This area, so we're just going to push out and just take a good look at the line. And again, we're just completely in water now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to push out. So you can see in that area we do have a fairly large belly in that area. And it does appear that we do have some root intrusion there in that joint there. What we'll do is we're just going to continue to push out slowly. Very difficult to tell because, as I mentioned, we are holding water. So we're coming up and out of that belly area. And you can see these joints here, we do have a root intrusion in that joint as well. And again, more roots in this joint. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And we have more roots in this joint as well. And we have more roots in this joint as well. And as we're pushing out, we did determine, is we're able to see now that we are in what appears to be vitreous clay, and we are transitioning into, so it is short sections of black ABS sewer pipe with vitreous clay. As you can see, we're dropping down here, back into black ABS, and again, we're holding water in this area as well. So we're just going to continue to push out. As you can see, we're completely underwater here. Now we're coming up and out of our belly area. Which still appears that we're still holding water. And it does appear that we're back into vitreous clay. And all the joints in the vitreous clay all appear to be root intruded. The joints are approximately every 4 feet. And then we do have a transition to short sections of black ABS sewer pipe. But again, it's very difficult to tell with the, got an offset in that joint as well with some roots. With the bellies in the joints and holding back water as it is, it's very difficult to tell the overall continue to pull back, push out. Again, a little short section of black ABS. We're back into vitreous clay. Just going to continue to push out. Just going to push out. Fairly large offset in this joint here from about the 5 o'clock area, 6 o'clock area, all the way around to about the 1 o'clock area. We'll make a little bit of a turn. It does appear that we do have roots in that joint as well. Okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to push out to this area right in here, right as just before we make the turn, and we're going to pause here for a moment and locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked that area. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull back from here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back from here and relocate ourselves to another cleanout that's at the far end of the driveway, towards the rear of the property, towards the alley. And we're just going to mark a few areas as we pull back. As you can see here in this joint here, just where we marked, we do have a fairly large offset in this joint from about the 7 o'clock all the way around to about the 1 o'clock area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. That joint was in fair condition. And very difficult to tell if those are small root intrusions in those joints. But as we pull back, we're going to pull back to where the starting of our belly is. We're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see, we do have a root intrusion and a break in this joint here. So we're going to pause here for a moment. As you can see, we do have a break in this joint from about the 7 o'clock area all the way up to about the 12 o'clock area. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area. We're marking these areas with orange paint. We're just putting a mark on the concrete area to identify the location. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. You can see we do have some root intrusion and a little offset in that joint. And we do have another offset in that joint as well. Continue to pull back. We do have some more root intrusions in that joint there, as you can see. And those root intrusions will just continue to grow, and eventually they will create a stoppage or possibly another break. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, more root intrusions in that joint there. As you can see, with an offset from about the 9 o'clock all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. I do have an offset in this joint here from about 6 o'clock up to around about the 9 o'clock area. Got a bit of a dip in there. Continue to pull back. And we're pulling up. And we got more roots in this joint as well. And we've got fairly large root intrusion in this joint here. We're going to pause here for a moment, locate this area. We're going to go ahead and mark that area with an orange dot of paint. We're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as you can see in this joint here, we do have a fairly large root intrusion in this joint as well, with an offset. As you can see, we do have an offset there. You see the face of the pipe there. We're just going to pull back. What we'll do is pause here for a moment and we'll locate this joint as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see, we're pulling back into another large root intrusion in this joint as well. So we're just going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and marked this joint as well. And as you can see, we do have large root intrusions. These joints are approximately 4 to 5 feet from each other. And as we pull back, each one of these joints do have large root intrusions. So what we're going to do is we're not going to mark all of these root intrusions on the way back. We can see them on the camera monitor. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull all the way back to the beginning of our belly area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as you can see, another large root intrusion. And again, this is the following joint. So again, it's approximately 4 to 5 feet back from the previous joint. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, we're back into another root intrusion. And again, we're transitioning what appears to be black ABS sewer pipe. And this is where they put a clean out in. And so we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And there's our clean out there, as you can see. And pull back. As you can see, we have a fairly large offset in this transition right here. And this is where they installed the black ABS sewer pipe clean out. So we're just going to pause here for a moment and locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. As we pull back, as you can see, we do have more root intrusions in those joints. And we do have more root intrusions in those joints as well. And we're transitioning back into another root intruded joint here. And another root intruded joint here. And as you can see, we do have another large root intrusion in this joint here. In this area here, we are holding back water, so we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area, so we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. As you can see, we again more root intrusions in those joints. And as I mentioned, we did have quite a bit of joints with root intrusions, approximately every 4 to 5 feet. These root intrusions will continue to grow and catch debris and could cause stoppages. And we have a very large root intrusion in this joint here. As you can see, it's completely constricted the line here. And we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back.
Yeah, that's major.
And again,
All the way.
as you can see, this appears to be a rag.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And we did mark quite a few areas throughout this run on the left-hand side, north side of the parking lot of the apartment building, in the parking lot, from the front of the property all the way towards the rear of the property. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pause our mic here and our video, and we're going to relocate ourselves to the rear of the property, and we're going to run that area as well. Okay, we went ahead and relocated ourselves towards the back of the property, at the back part of the parking lot area, just before the alleyway. And again, we're going to run through a 3-inch ABS cleanout located here at the back of the property. And this is towards the front of the property where we ran initially, off of Robertson's Boulevard. So we're just going to go ahead and run our camera out. We're just going to take another look from this point, see if we can get a little bit farther. And again, we're just dropping down a short section, what appears to be black ABS, and we're transitioning back into what appears to be vitreous clay. And as you can see in this vitreous clay here, as we make this turn, we can see that the vitreous clay here has a very large crack in it. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. We have a fairly large offset in this joint, and we do have a crack, another crack in this joint. You can see the line is completely broken in this area from about the 2 o'clock area. If you look all the way around to about the 10, 11 o'clock area, you can see the crack is completely goes all the way around, and you can see the portion right around 9 o'clock and the 2 o'clock area. You can see that the line is completely broke there. Just a matter of time before earth movement or something happens and that piece falls out and completely severs the line. So we do have a fairly large offset in this joint as well. We're dropping down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to push out.
Now you're going to come up on your turn in about 12, 15 feet. About
Again,
25, 27 feet, you'll hit your turn.
Push out and we'll get out past our turn here. We're coming up on a turn, and this is turning towards the rear of the property, towards the alleyway. And again, we've seen this area on the way out, and we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out past this. And we're going to run down and just take a good look at the line here. The joint appears to be in fair condition.
I should come up on ABS here in a minute.
We've got an offset in that joint from about the 7 o'clock area all the way around to about the 1 o'clock area. We're just going to continue to push out.
Looks like vitreous clay.
Yeah, we're in clay, yeah. Ready to push out.
Clay.
And again, another offset in this joint from about the 7 o'clock area all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area. And we're just going to continue to push out. And we've got some root intrusions in these joints here. Continue to push out. And again, more root intrusion in this joint here, as you can see, right around the 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock area. Those are coming in from the top of the pipe. We're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And as you can see, we do have more root intrusions in this area here. What we'll do is we're just going to push out a ways. And we are holding a little bit of water in this area. And we do have a crack here. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull back. And again, we did locate this area. This area here is just at the rear of the property. We did place an orange dot, and it's right next to what appeared to be an old sewage sump pit or sewage ejection pit, something there. We opened it up. It doesn't appear to have any motors or anything inside of it. It was not holding water or anything inside the pit. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back from here, and we're going to relocate ourselves to the opposite side of the property, on the south side of the property, and we'll run out from there, from the furthest point all the way out to possibly our city sewer tie-in. Up and out, and we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and relocated ourselves onto the south side of the apartment, and we're in between. We're closest up towards the front of the property on the south side of the building, closest to Robertson Street, and this is our 3-inch ABS clean out, and this is the end of the line here. This is Robertson there, and this goes out towards the rear of the property here. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and zero it out here. We're just going to push out, and again we're just going to take another look at the line. As you can see here, it does appear making a little bit of a turn, and we're transitioning right into vitreous clay. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. What we'll do is we'll push out as far as we can, and then we'll locate on the way back. As we locate stuff, we'll take the joints, we'll look at everything really well on the way back. So what we'll do is we'll just, and this line here, okay, and this line here on the south side of the building was hydrojetted just recently, about a week, 2 weeks ago, and so we're probably not going to see much for any root intrusions or anything on this side. But what we'll do is, again, just push out as far as we can, and then we'll pull back and take a good look at all the joints. We're going to get out to approximately 100, 120 feet, and then we'll locate that area, and we'll pull back from there. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area here, or located this area, and again, we're just at the rear of the property, just towards the alleyway at the rear of the property. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull back towards Robertson and take a good look at the line. Make a little bit of a turn. And we do have some root intrusions in this joint here, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And it does appear that we do have a break here in the line here. And that break there is full, appears to be the full diameter of the pipe. And we'll pull back. 21. And that's the full diameter of the pipe. So we're going to pause here and locate this area. We got a break there. That's the full diameter of the pipe. Okay. Okay, we went ahead and located this area. And again, this is just towards the end of the property, towards the alleyway there. And it's about... We're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. I'll take a look at the rest of the joints. Minor offset in that joint, nothing major. And we do have some more root intrusions in that joint there. We'll mark all the roots.
Huh? Yeah, mark whatever.
Okay, again, as I mentioned, we do have a minor root intrusion in that joint there. What we're going to do is just continue to pull back. And we do have some more root intrusion in this joint here. Continue to pull back.
Probably in the water a little bit.
And we are holding some water in this area, so what we're going to do is we'll just take a look here, right about...
Yeah, belly.
We'll mark this area here, and what we'll do is we'll pull back and we'll see the size of the belly. Okay, we went ahead and marked that area. What we're going to do is we're just going to pull back. And we're going to pull back to the end of the belly, see where we're not holding water. And right about here. We did have some root intrusion in that joint as well. Okay, we went ahead and marked that area. Now we're just going to continue to pull back. A little bit of root intrusion in that joint there. And here we got a fairly large root intrusion. I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and we marked it with an orange paint as well. This is approximately 4 foot 1 inches deep. So again, we're just going to continue to pull back. And we're going to pull back to this area here. And in this area here, again, we have a fairly large root intrusion. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area at 3 foot 10 inches deep. And again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back and mark these areas as we pull back. You can see that was a fairly large root intrusion. And we have another root intrusion in this joint as well. We'll pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area again and marked it with an orange paint, and this is at 3 foot 6 inches deep. So we're just going to continue to pull back, take a look at the joints, and again, we have more root intrusions in this joint as well. We'll pause here for a moment. Went ahead and located this area, and it's at 3 foot 8. And again, we're marking these areas with orange paint. And again, we are on the south side of the apartment, running from the furthest point closest to Robertson Street. Those joints appear to be in fair condition there. We had a minor offset in that joint from about the 7 o'clock up to about the 11 o'clock area. And we got an offset in that joint there from about the 9 o'clock all the way around to about the 3 o'clock. A little bit of roots coming through that joint, but nothing major. Appears to be in fair condition. And joint appears to be in fair condition. We do have minor roots in this joint as well. We'll locate this area. Okay, again, we went ahead and located this area, marked it with orange paint at 2 foot 8 inches deep. And again, we're going to continue to pull back. We're pulling back towards Robertson Street. We're on the south side of the apartment. A little bit of offset in this transition here from vitreous clay going back into the black ABS. As you can see, from about the 7 o'clock all the way up to about the 12 o'clock area. Then we're going to transition back into our vitreous clay. We'll continue to pull back. Those joints appear to be in fair condition. One joint appears to be in fair condition. That joint appears to be in fair condition. Got a minor offset in that joint there, but nothing major. Got a bit of root intrusions in those joints there. And again, we got a minor offset in that joint there from about the 9 o'clock up to around about the 1 o'clock area. That joint was in fair condition. Making a little bit of a turn, and we're going to come up and out of our clean out. We're going to pause here for a moment, and what we're going to do is we're going to relocate ourselves towards the rear of the property, and we're going to run from there with the attempt to run into our city sewer tie-in. We're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and relocated ourselves towards the rear of the property on the south side, and we're just out towards the rear of the property here. This is our rear of the property. That's our alleyway there. And this is our 3-inch ABS clean out closest to the rear of the property. And this is out towards the front of the street, towards Robertson on the south side of the building. And we ran from the furthest point towards closest to Robertson Street all the way up to this point. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run from here with the attempt to reach our city sewer tie-in. So we're just going to zero out right here. And we'll push out from here and take a good look. Here we're dropping down, and we're dropping down into our line here. It does appear that we're holding water in that area. It appears to be a short belly. And we do have some more roots in this joint here. And again, we're just going to push out as far as we can. And what we'll do is we'll pull back and take a good look at all the joints on the way back. We'll have a nice clean camera lens. We'll be able to see everything really good on the way back. We're just going to push out nice and slow, take a good look. There's
Mike's just holding water all the way.
Yeah.
Big old belly.
Yeah,
All the way to the corner, huh?
All the way from that corner, I'm still in water.
Hold it for a minute. Is that stuff just churning, right?
No.
Yeah, it's just churning.
Now it's turning because they're running water.
No, but it's just churning. See, it's not going down. You can see the stuff just churning.
Yeah.
That means it's not draining. We're holding water. Okay.
Yeah.
We're holding water. See if we come out of a belly. Probably don't have the depth. Yeah. Okay, let me mark that belly where we come out.
75 feet. You're 75 feet out. Yeah. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and again, this is at the rear of the property. Okay, we went ahead and located this area. This area here is just beneath the what appears to be some sort of a sump pit, possibly a sewage ejection pit. There is a metal manhole cover over the top of it at the back of the property, and this is just below that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back from here. We're unable to get past this point, so we're just going to pull back from here. We have a little bit of water passing us by right now, so we're going to pull back to approximately 97 feet on our camera monitor, and we'll mark that belly.
We marked that area already.
So this one.
We need to mark the next one.
Okay, we're just going to continue to pull back.
That's draining right there. Coming back, a little back further. So it's turning.
Got some roots in that joint there. We'll mark these roots.
Yeah, let me mark that.
I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area here with, again, orange paint. I'm just going to pull back about another 6 more feet. We do have some more roots in that joint as well.
Here, no, keep going. Right there. That's the start of it. Now we keep coming back this way, I'll mark the other end.
Okay.
Oh, right there. Still belly. Oh, and then we got water running, so still belly. Still trying. I think it was about 15, 20 feet, wasn't it? Okay. Right about there, right there.
Right there. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and marked that area. That area there was the starting of the belly. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to pull back.
Yeah, a couple of short bellies.
Again, very difficult to see the joints. We do have people in the units that are using water, so we constantly have water flushing and passing by us. So it's very hard to see these joints.
We'll already checked on the way out.
Yeah, we're able to take a look at them on the way out. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly. A lot of roots in that joint there. Little roots in that joint as well. And we're going to transition up, and we're going to come up and out of our cleanout, and that will conclude our video sewer inspection.